Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So last week we were looking at what is DurvAsanA, correct? Basically, all of us are looking for unconditioned, unlimited happiness. So we want to be happy everywhere and all the time. That is the truth. That's what is being sought after by everybody. But the main thing they do not understand in that is, if you are seeking limitless happiness, you are not going to get it by achieving something limited. Any amount of addition of limited things will still be limited only. And the problem with limited things is somebody else will also have more than you all the time. So by comparison, however big it may be, it can still be smaller. That is a problem. That again becomes a psychological problem, because people have a tendency to judge themselves based on others. And even if a minority of others are having something greater than what you have according to your own judgment, that is, then that becomes a problem. Even positive thinking doesn't work many times because of this, because both positives and negatives are reality. Understand that. You cannot just be thinking of only positive things and somehow be happy. That will not work. The negative is as real as the positive, and it is going to bother you. It's a problem. So if you are seeking the happiness which is unconditioned and unlimited, means really it is that you are seeking the limitless, and limitless cannot be achieved by any karma. That is the first thing one has to understand. That's what is actually, if you see the Upanishad also, there is this, we have the Mundaka Upanishad, where it is very clearly said, Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan Nasti Akritaha Kritena. Akritaha Nasti. Okay. So Karma Chitan Lokan Pariksha Brahmanaha Nirvedamayat also is there. So from all this understanding, Nirvedamayat means you have gained a certain dispassion towards the results of action, because any result of an action is only limited. But what I really seek is the akritaha, means that which cannot be created. The limitless cannot be created newly. It has to be there already, here and now. And it has to have been there before. It will always be in future. That means the limitless is beyond space and time. It transcends space and time. And further, the limitless, if it is really the limitless, cannot be other than you. It cannot leave you out and still be the limitless. So with all this understanding, you gain a certain dispassion towards the results of action. Not only that, you also recognize that what I really want must already be there. Correct? So the pursuit now is not accomplishing something new, something which is unaccomplished. If you are seeking the limitless, and if that limitless is really there, which the Veda actually says it is there, okay, it calls that limitless as Brahman. And so you now have this Brahma Jijnasa, means the desire to know the limitless, because the limitless can only be known, not newly created, or you cannot reach it newly or anything, because it cannot be away from you, being the limitless. So the only possibility is that the limitless is there as myself, but I do not recognize it. I am not aware of it. I do not have the knowledge. So there is ignorance. And that ignorance is the distance between myself and the limitless. And now my pursuit is one of knowledge. Means I have to know myself as this limitless. That's when I become a jijnasu from mumukshu. Mumukshu is the one who wants the limitless. In fact, everybody is really a mumukshu. But then from mumukshu to really becoming the jijnasu is the big step one has to take. For that itself, you should have analyzed the karma and karma phala, the nature of karma, and gained a certain dispassion towards karma and karma phala. That is the vairagya we talk about. And then you can come towards this knowledge. You are now seeking this knowledge, means then you have to go to a guru. Sa guru meva abhigachet. All this the Upanishad itself says. So you come to a guru, you are now learning about yourself, Atma Vidya. Now, like any other Vidya, Atma Vidya has prerequisites. And what are those prerequisites here? In fact, already you should have had certain Nitya Vastu Vivekaha, we say. That what you really seek is the Nitya Vastu, the limitless. Similarly, once you seek the limitless, you cannot be interested anymore in the limited, means you have certain Vairagya. So, Viveka Vairagya only starts the overall pursuit, correct? Certain analysis of what you want, and then not interested in what you really do not want. Those two has to be there. But then certain other things may not be there automatically, it will not come. Means further, since this is a knowledge about yourself, and the main problem being related to your identity itself, correct? You are taking yourself as not self. Whatever is not the self, you are putting the I, the identity, your own identity, the self, the I on something which is really not I. That is the whole problem. That is the ignorance we are talking about here. Whatever is not I is taken as I. If that is the case, now I have to develop a certain disposition of my own mind to get rid of all this false identification. Means your state of mind, what kind of a mind you have, the anthakarana, we say, internal organ. Sometimes this internal organ or anthakarana is also talked about as from a four different standpoints. It is also talked about from four different functions, you can say, as mano, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. Like that also we talk about it. Or sometimes the word mind or manaha is used to denote all four also. So mind means the one where thoughts are happening, ideas are created, certain volition is there, correct? Free will is there. I want to do this, I want to do that. Emotions are there. I feel in a certain manner. All these things are related to mind. Mind is where knowledge also takes place. Cognition happens. And clear knowledge takes place, correct? So discrimination happens. These are all the intellect aspects. There is an emotional mind, ideation, mind where thoughts and ideas are taking place. There is an intellectual mind. Then there is memory also is there, where I can recollect so many things. And then there is a sense of I as a doer and enjoyer. That is also a thought. There is I thought. I know this, I do not know this, I am idiot, I am fool, I am great. All these things are also there. That is the ahankara. Now all these four are really mind only. The thing is, the most important thing there is that ahankara. Your identity with reference to your own mind leads you to certain conclusions like I am knowledgeable, I am ignorant, all these things. I am happy, I am sad, etc., etc. Similarly, your identification with your senses can lead you to certain conclusions like I am blind, I am deaf, all these things with reference to the indriyas. Then with reference to the prana is operating in your body. That's why you are even alive. And prana also functions. That's why you have hunger and thirst. So I am hungry, I am thirsty, etc. is with reference to the prana. Then with reference to the physical body also you have certain identities. I am dark, I am fat, I am tall, I am short. Like this, so many things are there. All these things, actually speaking, are all wrong identification. So, to remove all this wrong identification, you require first to develop a certain disposition of your mind itself. That is what traditionally when we talk about the fourfold qualifications, we have something called Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, Shama Dama Uparama Titiksha Shraddha Samadhanam, like this. It is listed out, sixfold qualities of your mind. And that is where this DurvAsanA PratIkAra Dashakam is mainly addressing that point for you. How to gain a certain disposition of your mind, because mind has a certain tendencies, natural tendencies, you can say. Its natural tendency itself is to gain, is to take the Atma, this identity of the self onto itself. That is its natural tendency. And then once you become an individual, you are always going to have problems, because the total is so big, and the total is all the other things other than yourself is so much, and it is all other than you. And then there is a problem. You are always a small being, small with reference to any standpoint, with reference to knowledge, with reference to your ability to enjoy, with reference to your power, the resources you have. Whatever way you look at yourself, you are limited, you are small, but you are not able to accept that. That is the fundamental problem of a human being. Therefore, only you have now come for this knowledge, but this knowledge requires certain emotional maturity, let us say. You need to get out of certain habitual ways of thinking, which leads you to suffering. Basically, your own thinking only makes you suffer. Therefore, we have to lead a certain kind of life, because these things are all habitual, means they are very strong habits. It will not just go away. Even if you gain a certain insight, you attend a Vedanta class, you listen to your guru, everything looks clear in the class. But then as soon as you leave the class and go away, you then fall back into your habitual tendencies. Means whatever insight you have gained is not good enough to transform you. So any insight, if it has to transform you, in this case, in fact, it is a very fundamental transformation. It's self-transformation. For that, some effort is required. The insight itself has to be repeated. First, the insight has to be gained, and it has to be a strong insight without any doubts and all that. And finally, it has to be repeated again and again. Then only it can transform you. But to do all these things, to gain this knowledge, to have a knowledge which is very clear, like even the like even the gooseberry in your palm, correct? Like Karatala Amalakavat, we say in Sanskritam, or Ullangai Nelikani in Tamil, we say. So, like that, it has to be very clear. The self-knowledge has to be so clear. But even if it is clear, habitual tendencies are powerful. They are balavat. They can overcome even this knowledge and make this knowledge not available for you, and the jnana phalam also. The result of this knowledge is ananda. This is to recognize oneself as the source of all happiness. I am of the very nature of happiness. Means I don't depend on anything for my happiness. That is the real freedom. That is real ananda. But these habitual tendencies can take you away from that. That's why first to gain this knowledge, and even after you have gained this knowledge, to enjoy the results of this knowledge and have this knowledge always. Certain way of life itself is given here. Every day, what you have to do. With that only, our Vidyaranya Swami is starting. In fact, whatever he says is applicable to both sannyasis and grihastha, because those who are pursuing this knowledge can have two types of lifestyles. Bhagavan himself talks about that. Lokesmin dvidha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha, like that. I have given two lifestyles. One is the lifestyle of Sankhya Yoga, means the sannyasis, those who are exclusively pursuing only knowledge. They have given up all other roles in their life voluntarily. They have only two roles, either as a student or as a teacher. That is Sankhya Yoga lifestyle. For all others, there is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means even both the Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, Tyaga is involved. In Sankhya Yoga, you do Tyaga of all the karma itself, other than whatever is required to maintain your body, mind, sense complex. Everything else you have given up, along with the roles, all the duties, all the actions associated with all those roles, everything is gone. But as a Karma Yogi, you do not give up any of the roles like parent, children, okay, as an employer, employee, even a king maybe, correct? You have duty as a citizen. So many things are there. You keep all those roles, means all roles come associated with their own duties, certain activities you have to do. But the main thing is, while you are doing all that, whether it is a familial role or a societal role or any other role, you are not doing the duties associated with the roles thinking that it is going to give you some happiness. Is that clear? You have done karma phalatyaga, means you do not expect that the results of action is going to make you happy or anything. In fact, this is what is somewhat wrongly translated as karma yoga, saying do your duty, do not expect the results. Nobody can do any action without expecting result, correct? Because the action itself is defined by its result. So that's not a very right way of putting it. But what the crux of that statement is that do not expect the results will make you happy, because results are anyway limited. And I am a mumukshu now. I'm not expecting some limited result will make me happy. Whatever may be the result, I'm ready to accept it as Ishvara Prasada. Okay, that Prasada Buddhi only makes the difference. Otherwise, there is no difference between karma yogi and a normal karmi. Karmi means karmi is doing karma for a particular result. But the karmi expects that the result is going to make him happy. And because of that, the result is not as per the expectation, karmi has a problem. But for a karma yogi, there is no problem like that, because karma yogi is not doing the karma expecting that the result is going to make me happy. Karma yogi is doing the karma because that is what is in a particular situation the right thing to do, and therefore you are doing it as your duty. Whatever may be the result, you are ready to accept it as prasada. That gives you a certain samatvam. That samatvam is called yoga by Bhagavan. Now, having such an attitude itself is a great thing. It means that you have a certain maturity. Okay, you have a certain disposition of mind. You will have shamadamadi and all will start developing easily, and it will, that your mind itself will be calm then, or even your all the reactions will become less and more action oriented you will become. Because most of the problem in human life is all because you react emotionally without much thought, because those are also habitual. In fact, all your reactions are all habitual. So you react in a particular way, later on you feel guilty, or you feel frightened also because how the others will take your reaction, you don't know. So all this guilt, fear, etc., you go through. It's a problem. So to avoid all these things and to develop the right attitude towards karma also, you should have a certain regimen. Daily, what I am going to do. There has to be certain clarity in that, and you have to do repeatedly the same thing. Nitya karma, that is what is called Nitya karma. Our tradition places a lot of importance on Nitya karma. You don't have to go and raise the Govardhana Giri in your hand or anything on your little finger. No, you don't have to do such difficult things. Understand that. Only thing you have to do is do every day whatever you are supposed to do it. And over a period of time, you will see the magic. Nitya karma itself will transform you. Whatever daily regimen you have, that is only going to make you great, not some heroic effort or anything. Understand that. And that is why here, before he talks about specific DurvAsanAs and how to overcome them, our Acharya directly talks about what you have to do on a day-to-day basis. Okay, that's where he starts. So let us see what he says. Pratarvaidika karmatas tattadanusadvedanta satchintaya paschat bharata moksha dharma kathaya vasishtha ramayana सायं भागवतार्थ तत्व कथया रात्रौ निदिध्यासनात् कालो गच्छतु न शरीर भरणम् प्रारब्ध कांतार्पितम्. So pratar vaidika karmataha tattad vedanta sachintaya. There is a tad also is there, tad also is there. One tat is also not there in some readings. So pratar vaidika karmataha tad vedanta sachit or sachintaya is there here, which is also there is a different reading there also, I think. But anyway, all there not much difference in the meaning in most of the readings. So you start your day with Vaidika karma, whatever the Veda is given you. Now, traditionally, if you take the all the Vaidika karma, nobody is following today. Okay, you can go and see there is a Nityanhikam like that. Every day, what you are supposed to do from the time you get up, you have to get up early in the morning. That itself is a problem for most of the people. But ideally, you get up between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning. Then there are a whole list of things which you have to do. That is called Nityanhikam. Anhikam means whatever you have to do during the day. And Nitya means every day you have to do that. Okay. So those are all the things you have to do, mandated. In that Agnihotradi karma and all is there. If you are a Brahmana and again, these karma, the Nityanikam is based on Varna and Ashrama also. The Varna part is a more problematic part today. But Ashrama, dharma is still there, correct? Depending on your ashrama, whether you are a student, whether you are a householder, or whether you have retired, or whether you have become a sannyasi and all that, of course, you have to do certain things according to your age and your all the roles which you are playing in life, the stage of your life. So the ashrama and varna are important, but whatever may be your varna and ashrama, I like to see the Vaidika karma as the Pancha Mahayajna. For us, that is the most important thing, because as a Sanatani, as a Dharmika, I have Rina, we say. This is there in the Upanishad itself. Even the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad talks about the Rina. Rina means what? Your debt. You have taken loan and you have to repay. So when did I take loan? From whom? Means you have taken Rina from the Devas. There is a Deva Rina. Okay? What loan did I take from the Devas? Means as soon as you were born, there is oxygen. Right amount of oxygen is there in the air for you to breathe. Water is available. Every year it is raining. Plants are giving you food. Why? Because sun is shining. Like this, all these things are devatas for us, correct? They are working for us. The devatas are working relentlessly. They are giving us the rain. They are shining, because of which plants can produce food. Like this, your entire life is possible only because the devas are functioning, and therefore we have a Deva Rina. In fact, Bhagavan in the Gita, 3rd chapter, I think he says, those who do not give to the devas and consume only by themselves, correct? Ye pachanti atmakarana. Okay, he says, one who cooks, one who consumes the resources only keeping oneself in mind, means such a person is a yo bhungte stena eva saha, he says. He is a thief only, he says. So if you have to give to the devas, because you give to the devas also give to you. That is what is said there. In fact, that portion of Gita itself you can go and read. It is very beautiful. It starts, I think, with Saha Yajñah Praja Srishtva Purovacha Prajapatihi Anena Prasavishyadhvam Yena Vostvishta Kamadhuk Devan Bhavayata Nena Te Deva Bhavayantu Vaha. Like that, the Deva, you give to the Devas give to you, you take care of each other, because Brahmaji has created like that only. It starts like that, and that is like a divine ecology for us. Okay, you can say it is our divine ecology. We have to take care of the Devas first. So the Deva related means nowadays we do puja and all that, correct? Deva Pujanam has to be Nitya. Not that you do one day in the week, because some cultures are all weekend cultures. We are not like that. We are a daily culture, you can say. Every day you have to have all this Deva Rina, you have to take care by doing Deva Pujanam or Deva Yajna, it is called, correct? Then the other thing, what other Rina is there? Means all the knowledge you have gained. Where did all this knowledge come from? Means for us, all knowledge has come from our rishis. That's why we say it is Aarsha Vidya, correct? We are all, whatever we are studying is all Aarsha Vidya. This Atma Vidya is coming from the rishis. And even all others, there Ashtadasha Vidya Sthana we talk about. 18 disciplines of knowledge. All of them have come from our rishis. We are all tracing our ancestries to different rishis. We are very proud of them, in fact. And Rishi Yajna also one has to do. In fact, Rishi Tarpanam, there is actually a daily ritual called Brahma Yajna. In that we do Rishi Tarpana also, actually speaking. But the best way to repay our rishis is to first gain the knowledge. Whatever knowledge they have left as a heritage for us, we should not be carrying it like a donkey is carrying the books, correct? That is not useful. You have to study and gain the knowledge. And not only that, you have to then teach it to others. Swadhyaya Pravachana. It's said in Taittiriya Upanishad also, Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Correct? Do not be lackadaisical with reference to Swadhyaya and Pravachana. Swadhyaya here means studying whatever your own Veda or all the knowledge which the rishis have given us. And Pravachana means you are teaching that, you are talking about that. Those two are very important. You have to diligently do that. Means that is the Rishi Yajna. So Deva Rishi, then Pitru. All our ancestors also we have to honor. Without them we are not there here, correct? Your very body is given by your mother and father. And so many other genetic traits are all given by your ancestors. You have to be grateful to them. Without your ancestors, you cannot be there here. So that is the Pitri Yajna. Of course, Pitri Yajna also daily you can do. In the Brahma Yajna, there is a Pitri Yajna also. Or at least we do, like today is Amavasya, you are supposed to do Shraddha, whatever. In fact, every Amavasya you are supposed to do Shraddha, but nowadays we don't do like that. We do at least Tilatarpanam. You have to do, if you are eligible for that, you can do that. But if you have your father and all that, if you are not eligible to do the Amavasya Tarpana and other Pitru Karya, at least the Brahma Yajna portion of the Pitru Tarpana, everybody has to do. It is not only for those who do not have their fathers. So like that you can do the Pitru Tarpana or some karma, or simply keep some food for crows. Some people do that, in fact. Or in the north they feed cows, I think. So that is all taken as Pitru Karma, because your bhavana is that you are feeding, your Pitrus are coming and taking that. So in South India, we have this tradition of taking some cooked rice and always keeping it aside for the crows first. Then only we eat. That's a beautiful tradition actually, because the belief is that our ancestors only come and eat in the form of crows, or whatever the crows are eating, it eventually goes to our ancestors, our Pitrus. So Pitri Yajna also is a Nitya Karma. One has to do Deva, Rishi, Pitru. Then what? Then other Manushyas also, we are all interdependent. Nobody can live by themselves. Okay. In fact, the modern people are so dependent on others, it is unimaginable. See, once we went to Arunachal Pradesh and we were living with some people there, correct? Those who are Vanavasis there. And they have so much skill, life skill to survive there, correct? I felt that I do not have any skill at all. In fact, you leave me there for a couple of days, I will not survive after that. They know everything from scratch. They know how to make their own hut. They know how to make their own clothes. They can manage their own food even there. Everything to survive there. They have the life skills. Modern people have nothing. We don't know where, whatever we eat also, where it comes from, we don't know. So, we are all only supermarket generation. Or nowadays, not even supermarket. It is all some Swiggy and all that, correct? You are sitting at home, you order, everything comes to your doorstep. That's all you know. You know how to type a few things in your mobile and computer. That's all is our knowledge. We don't have any life skills, really speaking. Everything has to be given by everybody else. That's how we can even live. So we are totally dependent on others. That means we have to also appreciate the Manushya, all the other Manushyas who help us. So Manushya Yajna means you have to, nowadays again, in those days they used to call, if there is, before you eat, you always provide for others. Whoever is hungry, in fact, you are supposed to come out of your house and shout, is there anybody who wants to eat and all that? Like that, there is a tradition. Even today in some villages and all, they follow that. And they always feed first the Atithi, and then only you are supposed to eat. You cannot maybe follow that today, but you have to, you can give some charity and all that, correct? Always think of others also, those who are helping you. So there is a Manushya Yajna, and finally Bhuta Yajna also. All other beings, so many living beings are helping us. In fact, if the bacteria in your gut do not do their work, you cannot even digest your food. Okay. So it becomes a big problem. And so think of all the animals which help you. The cow is giving you milk. All the domestic animals are helping us, correct? In so many ways. And even the birds and bees and even insects help us in some way or the other. Although mostly we think of all the insects as a nuisance, particularly mosquitoes are all a nuisance sometimes. But mostly all other insects and birds, and they all do their duty towards the ecosystem. They are all maintaining a certain balance. So their role is very important. So we take care of all the bhutas, all the other animals and beings. So bhuta yajna also one has to do every day. Like this Pancha Maha Yajna defines us as a religious culture, and that is the Vaidika karma, pratar Vaidika karmataha, means you do all these things every day. And then tadanu means after that what you do. So you do all your karma, means deva pujanam, rishi yajnam, pitri yajnam, manushya yajnam, bhuta yajnam, all these things you do every day. But if you are a householder, you are also supposed to do whatever your job, correct, to maintain certain lifestyle. But if you are a sannyasi, you are only doing certain whatever. The sannyasis have their own routine. Sannyasa dharma also has certain structure is there for us. Yati dharma, shastra and all is there. And they have their own sampradaya and parampara and all that. Based on that also, every day they also do all this karma. But after that, what? Anusad, Sad Vedanta Sachintaya, means you read the Vedanta and then spend your time thinking about it, discussing about it, all these things, correct? Tat chintanam, tat kathanam, anyonyam tat prabodhanam, and all it is talked about. In the Shastra also, you always think about this Vedanta only, because now you are a mumukshu and a jijnasu. This is the only pursuit for you. You are not interested in anything else, really speaking. The only thing you are interested in is this Vedanta. Therefore, your study of the Vedanta, then reflecting on that, gaining certain clarity, and then discussing about it also, satsanga, correct? Discussing about it with others, or even maybe conducting some classes and all that, teaching that. All these things are the activities, in fact, which you have interest in. Once you are a Vedantin, this is what you want to do really. So all your free time you spend in that. Not otherwise nowadays so many distractions are there, correct? At least, in fact, I now think that it was a blessing for us, because when we went to Gurukula Vasam with our Guru, we didn't have internet, mobile phone, TV, nothing, correct? Of course, TV was still there in those days, but not all this cable, so many channels and all that. Or even in the Gurukulam, we didn't have a TV anyway. So we didn't have any distraction. Our day-to-day life used to be like get up at 4:30, do your whatever Nitya Karma, Sandhya Vandanadi, go to Mandir, 5:15 we puja used to start. Every day we had Rudra Abhishekam, it will go up to 6:15, 6:20. Then 6:30 we had a meditation class. Swamiji used to conduct 6:30 to 7:10 meditation, 7:15 to 8 breakfast, 8 to 9 we used to have one class, 9:15 to 10:15 another class, then 10:15 to 10:30 was tea break, 10:30 to 11:30 another class, 11:30 to 12:30 another class, then lunch. After lunch we had some time to do washing and all that. But then even after post lunch we used to have some our own group discussion and all that. We used to have different groups. We used to study ourselves, self-study in a group. We used to do. Then 3:30, 4 to 5 one class, 5:15 is another class. Then evening mandir puja and all that. 7:15 breakfast, 8 to 9 again satsang with Swamiji, and whatever later on again we'll be with Swamiji only. We'll be spending some time. Like this, you can imagine we didn't have time for it. We didn't know what it was, what day of the week it was only. That's how we were spending the time. Means Sad Vedanta Satchintaya. In fact, in between, we also used to listen to all other tapes and all that. Okay. We used to listen to the tapes of some other whatever text which covered by other Swamijis or by Swamiji, like public talks and so many other things. So we used to listen to those tapes, and even that we used to, in those days only the Walkman, we had variable speed Walkman. Paramarthaji's tapes and all we used to listen in 1.5 or twice speed and finish more. Like that, we used to have the daily routine. Okay. So that is the main thing. And so this is the this was the routine. So that is the satsanga we say. So Sad Vedanta or Satsanga and all, why do we say? Because here Sat can means that is the one which is good for you. Like we say Satkarma and all that. That is the right thing for you. Or Sat Vedanta can also mean that Vedanta, the subject matter of the Vedanta is the Sadvastu, correct? Sadeva Saumya Idamagre Asid Ekameva Advitiyam, like that Sadvastu. Only we are studying. What we are trying to understand is this Sadvastu, which itself is the Jagat Karanam, and that Jagat Karanam Sadvastu is the Satyam also. It is a Sadeva Satyam, and it is yourself. Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi. That is the teaching we are trying to understand. So that is why it is the Sad Vedanta Satchintaya. So you spend your entire day. So you have to work out like that. That's why Gurukula Vasam is very important. Correct. Of course, you are all attending Vedanta class online, maybe over the weekend and all that. At least in your busy life, some interest you have, and this is good enough to maintain a certain interest and all that. But once, if you are a very, you have the Nischaya, correct? That is what we call Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Bhagavan also talks about a Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So you have the clarity that what I want really is moksha. That is my only pursuit, means you have to then go and study with a guru. Gurukula Vasa is very important, because there only you can focus only on this thing. It shows your commitment also. If you go and live with your guru, means you are committed about this knowledge. So you show a certain commitment and a certain lifestyle where you are with this knowledge throughout the day. That is the one which is conducive. Then it becomes very conducive to gain this knowledge and assimilate the knowledge also. Assimilation portion is also the main part here. Vedanta itself is very simple. The subject matter of Vedanta anybody can learn easily, and the Vedanta sadhana also is not very difficult. The main sadhana in Vedanta is what I would say the Anatma Viveka is the main thing, because the problem itself is one of wrong identification. Means you have to overcome this false identification with reference to your own body mind sense complex mainly, because nobody has any confusion. You don't take the mobile phone as I. Although many people are so attached to their mobile phone, nowadays people are ready to donate their kidney to buy a phone. So they are ready to give up one body organ to get a phone, but still that person also does not have an identification that phone is I. Why? Because whatever I know is not I, correct? That is the basic vichara we have to do. Whatever I know as an object, whatever I can cognize, or whatever is an object of my knowledge, object of my cognition, is not I. Anything I cognize is not I. Now, in that, even your clothes, you don't have any confusion. You don't take yourself as your shirt or pant or anything, or your sari or blouse or whatever it is. But the confusion starts from the body onwards. Physical body also is an object of your cognition, but you take it as I. Then it continues. Even your hunger and thirst and all that also is an object of your cognition, but you associate it with yourself. You say, I am hungry, I am thirsty. And then with reference to mind also same thing. All thoughts are uh, objects of your cognition, because they become evident to you. The thoughts and emotions and everything, they become evident to you, but still you associate yourself with that and say, I am happy, I am sad, I am knowledgeable, I am ignorant, all these things. Similarly with reference to the indriyas also, because whether they function or not function also is evident to you, but you you associate yourself with that and say, I am blind, I am deaf, etc. Like this, all this association, it is all ignorance. Whatever is I know is not I. That is the basic thing. You have to always be alert to that. Whatever I know is not I. Means you are free. You free yourself from all these identifications. And then I is as it is. Atma is always shining. Sachidananda Atma is always there. It is available to you. You don't have to newly create it or anything. Just give up all these wrong notions. That's all one has to do. In fact, there is no merging or anything also. That Atma is always there as it is. You don't have to merge or anything. You have to only recognize whatever is already there and give up all this false identification. For that, a certain lifestyle is very required. That's what is talked about in this verse. So the Vedanta Satchintaya means that you spend your whole day in all these things. And then Paschat Bharata Moksha Dharma Kathaya. Okay, only Vedanta means it is very dry and all that. Some people may feel. So some spice you add. What even in our course, the evening satsanga, Swamiji used to have Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these things. In fact, there is a Ramayana within the Mahabharata. During our course, Swamiji covered that. That is also interesting. Okay. So the Ramayana, as it occurs within the Mahabharata, then Mahabharata also different portions. Swamiji covered all these things, something light. Even Bhagavatam he started, but he didn't go further much. I don't know why. So here, this But in this Bharata Moksha Dharma Kataya also is specifically said here, because there is a portion called Moksha Dharma in the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata. I think it starts from chapter 168 of the Shanti Parva. And some people, in fact, conduct classes on that Moksha Dharma portion of Mahabharata because it talks about Vedanta only, mainly. So the Moksha Dharma portion of Mahabharata and Vasishtha Ramayana also. He says he doesn't talk about Valmiki Ramayana here. Yoga Vasishtha again is basically the teachings of Vasishtha to Rama. Again, it is all related to moksha and yoga and all that. Or Adhyatma Ramayana also is there for a Vedantin. We can study all that. So though throughout the day you study all these things, then evening what? Bhagavatartha, Tattva Kathaya, and Bhagavata also is completely Advaita only, completely Vedanta. And Bhagavata also is Bhakti, also the Bhakti Rasa is there. So all the Puranas, Bhagavata can be taken as an Upalakshana for other Puranas here. So we study the other Puranas. If you are a Shiva Bhakta, means there are Shiva Purana is there, Skanda Purana and all is there. In fact, there is a Sutta Samhita, one portion is there in the Skanda Purana, again full of Vedanta. Very interesting. You can study all that. So again, if you don't want to study the same text and all that, there are so much options for you. But the idea is that you are with Vedanta, whether you study Upanishad or Bhagavad Gita or Moksha Dharma portion of the whatever Mahabharata or some Ramayana or even Bhagavata and other Puranas, whatever your mind can easily grasp, correct? Or is interested in, you go along with that. All these stories make things easy to grasp, correct? That's why, in fact, even in the Upanishads also, there are a lot of stories are there. So it is, the teaching itself is presented as a story and a discussion between two people, and it is because you can easily assimilate them, easily grasp. That's why the tradition is like that. So here all these things, and finally what? Ratrau. Once you have finished all the studies, in fact, in those days, at night you did not have even light, electricity and bulb and all that. So what do we do? Whatever you have studied during the day, you keep thinking about it, you recollect it. That is the Nididhyasanam here. Of course, the Nididhyasanam means whatever Vedanta, Shravanam, Mananam we have done, that you recollect. And that is what is going on in your mind. In fact, it becomes somewhat automatic. Once you have a certain lifestyle like this, you cannot think about anything else, really speaking. So the Nididhyasana also happens, in fact. When you are not consciously doing something, even subconsciously and unconsciously, your thought patterns are now aligned with this teaching only. That is the Nididhyasanam. In fact, Nididhyasanam then happens mostly. Of course, initially you have to make it happen, then it happens. So Nididhyasana is what, with this same thought only you go to sleep also then. So like this, Kalo Gachatu na Sharira Bharanam Prarabdha Kantarpitam. Like this, our time goes in this manner only, the day. And whatever, the only thing of worry for the sannyasi at least is Sharira Bharanam, correct? How do I keep up my body means, even that you don't worry. Why? Naha, our Sharira also. Naha here is our bodies. How do we support our body? The bodily activities also maintain this life. Because living is important. Only if you are alive, you can do Shravanam and Mananam and attain this moksha. Means even that Prarabdha Kantarpitam, there is another reading also. Prarabdha Karmarpitam or Prarabdha Kantarpitam also is there. All three types of reading is there. Kanta means you can take it as a magnet. So Prarabdha is like the magnet because around the magnet, all the iron filings and all, they are going around in a certain motion and all that, correct? Or they arrange themselves in a certain manner. Like this, our entire life and even the the maintenance of the body is only due to the prarabdha karma according to us. Leave it to that. You don't worry about that. Or prarabdha kantha means kantha is neck really. Generally, if we offer something, any garland and all that, it is all kantharpitam, correct? We offer it around your neck. And here prarabdha kantarpitam reading means prarabdha, that is basically you have offered it to the prarabdha, your sharira bharana, etc. You are offering it like a garland onto the neck of the prarabdha, means basically to the prarabdha. You leave it to the prarabdha. Whatever karma has started this life for us, accordingly, because even if you want to die, you cannot die. That is the beauty. Or if your death is supposed to come, you cannot really stop it, it will come. So don't worry about maintaining this body or how long it is going to be there, etc. Whatever is supposed to be done to maintain this body in a certain shape, you can still do it. But don't have any worries or anything. Leave it to prarabdha. That is how we lead our lives. We have no other worries. We are totally committed to the study and recollection of this knowledge. That is how every day has to go. How long means what? Till the time you die, this is the same lifestyle. There is no other lifestyle possible for a Vedantin. This is the thing one has to do. So this is what our Acharya is now talking about. So we will see actually what he says about the different DurvAsanAs and how to counter that next week. Om Purnamad Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.